Well,
I love how everything. So there's always like a Jerry story starts off with well.
well, because it's truly a story. I wrote a novel. A lot of people who know me know this story. I wrote my first novel accidentally after um, being a poet and writing poems. I had attempted to write a poem, needed to explain the poem further, and it turned into a novel. So I contacted a publisher. The novel got published. So that was about 8 years ago,
Hmm.
um, give or take. And I just started selling the novel because I'm a big talker, and I had a lot of clients at the hair salon, and they bought the novel. I did book signings and did a lot. Well, the novel stopped selling. I didn't know to go further with it, and I
Uh
was like, why ain't nobody buying it this month? I didn't get another check. So I was driving down the strip and I seen Varsity Theater. I'm like, do they have plays? What do they do there? Found out they had plays here, and I said, well, I'm going to write a play about my novel. So I came up with an idea of a play called Varsity Theater, stopped by and met this woman at the time. I forget her name was, but she was the head of all the people who would rent out the varsity. And she came in and showed me the theater,
huh. The
which
the
the
East room.
east, yeah. And so I went in there, I looked at the stage, I looked around, and I looked up there and I said, oh, I'll hang something there and I'll be the ghost narrator. And I will make this happen. And it was like I already had a play, but I didn't even have it written.
Uh
But she thought I did. And so we made it. We got a date, and I had to go home and write a play because I got a date. I'm putting on this play at the Varsity Theater. So that's how I got into it. I wasn't even thinking I was going to be an actress or singing, doing anything
huh. Uh
but
huh.
being behind the scenes. And thank God I was, because I didn't have any clue. I had never put on a play before. I wrote it after talking to her. And so when this play was put on, they was like, well, who's going to do your lights? I said, lights? Yeah, someone has to do your lights. And so I'm here getting trained about lights. Well, I had someone to work the lights for me, but I had to wear a headset and coach the person who was working the lights.
Hmm.
Bring them down, bring them up, bring them down, take it up. And on this side, I had a microphone and I was narrating. So after narrating, I would push mute, bring it down, unmute, back to narrating. And not only that, I would have to go on the other side of the curtain
Hmm.
and go get everybody ready in the back because I was, my produce everything. And I had to because I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
We had a big choir. We sold out. The place sold out. We had people everywhere. On top of that, it was when we had food. So we had a big buffet dinner beforehand. Soul food cooking by Big Bell. And it was just a big event for
Uh
Carbondale. And so people were asking, when is that girl coming back? What do you have another event? So there you have it. I then was like, okay, this is something I can do.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, boy, but that was big. It was a lot of people. We had kids. I mean, this play had 20 something people.
Hmm.
And so I was like, if I go again, I want to do something smaller. And then, I did the poetic event with
Hmm.
just like 6 people. And I fell in love with the theater even more then. And I began to act, you know. And I had friends that said, you seem like a natural actress, but I've never looked at myself like that to
Hmm.
really be performing in that way, you know? And then it was natural So I started. Now I'm here today. I have a show that comes on every week that came from one of my spun off of one of the plays that I done called A Good Man. And I really love this show. It has so much potential. The storyline just keeps growing. And I'm the writer. Sometimes I'm up writing 3, 4 shows at a time.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'm like, it's Sunday and the show is going to be needs to be shot that evening or on Monday, and I haven't written it to about 15 minutes before the show. And I have to do it myself because I can't expect my actresses and actors to learn it
Yeah.
in 15 minutes. So I'll write something and do it last minute. But you know,
It all just kind of comes together.
it all comes together. It's fun.
And we're going to come together for episode 61 of the WTF Carbondale podcast, where we talk to interesting people about their interesting lives and tie it all back to this little old place we call home. And somebody who I love to share this home with, Jerri Young, previously Jerri Locke. I'm so happy for you and Solomon and your matrimony, and it's lovely when you meet two people separately and then they come together. And you're just like, oh, that makes sense. These people click so well, and they're just good folks together. I love it. But I didn't realize that your first like run at doing acting and performing and managing a play was here. I didn't realize that it all originated from the varsity. So like that's special. Jerri,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
It's really special. Yep, this is I'm crazy about the Varsity Theater. Yeah, it's my first time in like a theater. I had never even been in the Varsity. I didn't know it existed.
You can't
I
really
didn't
tell driving by it. It looks like
No, I
nothing
didn't
on
know
the side of
the
road.
stage company, did plays. And at the time that I did that first play, they hadn't been doing many.
Yeah.
Things had dust on it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember pulling down a wooden house, but it was small, and it was made by an artist here in Carbondale. Well, I was like, can I use this? And they was like, yeah, you can be careful. Nobody's used that in years. Well, I used it, and I had people that told me, thank you. We haven't seen props like that used in so long.
Yeah.
It hadn't been used.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of stuff. We brought out old benches to make the church with that, had been, things had set up for a while. They hadn't been doing much
Yeah.
at that time. But it seemed like it sparked a little fire up under them, because by the second time I was in here, it was like, okay, you got to wait. They build in a set, and, so I got used to that, and I was able to do sets a little better, because I was looking like, well, boy, that's a little easier, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many skills it takes to produce anything that's some form of stage art.
Yes.
Right. And that's something that I like resonates with me. Like you've got 3 other skill sets beyond being able to be your own actor, beyond being your own writer, beyond being your own videographer and choreographer and whatever else. You're also building your own sets and doing everything. I mean, it's just you cover the gamut, and it's like, it's astonishing how much one person can shoulder when they like have this vision and they want to bring their creativity to fruition. Like I see it, Jerri, and I love it. And so did you have the blue? Is blue a name? Is blue an idea? Is blue a feeling? Like, where does the blue concept originate from?
It is all those things that you said. It has went through. It was a a feeling, to an idea, to a name. So that's kind of, I'm glad you said that. When I started off, and I look back at my plays, I look back at the flyers. Is My Heaven Your Hell play was red. You know, everything about it was red, red, black and white, flashy red colors. You know, Is My Heaven Your Hell, and I had no idea of anything about blue. I didn't even care about the color blue. You know, it's a boy color, blue, blue, whatever. I was had been a hip hop artist, kind of gospel singing from church, you know, and I had no idea about any blue stuff in my mind. Well, by the time we done Bitter Broken Bees, it was red too. You know, I was still in the red. We had that. But at that time, I had been introduced to a new world that was looking at me like, is she younger? You know, how old is she? You know, so I have young men approaching me and wanting to date me. And at the same time, I can't find a husband. There's not one dropping from the sky that's my age, you know, and here I am, you know, divorced and just some average to the world. You know, I know now that I'm not just average. I'm
Yeah.
fine like everybody else is. But, you know,
Yeah.
in society makes us think that we are to be like this person or this person, you know, so you know, I knew that I was just somebody that society would look at as just some regular woman that's not someone standing out to just get a man. And I needed a good man because I had daughters. So I couldn't just have any man. But anyway, I decided to date the ones that showed me more attention, and they were younger. It just wasn't any my age that wanted to take me on dates. So I was on Facebook and somebody called me a cougar. And I said, well, what is that? I didn't even know what that was, a cougar. And so they say, yeah, that's them women wanting young guys. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh no, I didn't want no young guy. They like me, and I can't even stop them from getting on this Facebook liking my pictures and all that and that. So, and I don't really want them like that. I mean, I can't have babies and all this. And so anyway, I said people are calling me this cougar, but I got the blues about this. And it's the cougar blues. And so that blue, I just kept on cougar blues. Everybody wants to hear the story about the cougar blues. So I made a song called The Cougar Wiggle that talked about the cougar blues. I made a play called The Cougar Blues. And in the midst of the play, I started having the whole mindset of different shades of blue because, you know, I wrote the play about Osina because she had the deep ocean blues. And then the other girl in the salon had Arctic blues. And the other one had sky blue, joyful blue. And the other one had midnight blue, submissive blues. And it goes on. So I came up with the shades of blue. And I was like, oh, 12 shades of blue. I'll have a 12 shades of blue calendar. And I use all these young guys and you know, marketed this whole cougar thing. I put them for each month as a different shade of blue. And so this idea of blue was an idea, this feeling of feeling bad of the blues became an idea that made the whole 12 Shades of Blue idea. So then it was 12 Shades of Blue Productions. I made a 12 Shades of Blue album with songs on it. And it just went on and on and on, you know, the 12 Shades of Blue. But I still didn't know what the blue really meant until after I had done enough Cougar Blues plays. We did The Blues Is All Right, which was still a spinoff of Cougar Blues. And Osina was red. And everybody wanted her back blue because at least when she was blue, she understood the blues of others and she was able to help them through the blues instead of just being red and not caring. So My friend Joyce Heskett called me late at night. Little lady, 80 some years, she just turned 86 years old. Called me after the play. You know, I get out of here really late, out of the theater. After I've packed up everything there, I'm sitting there. She calls me. She says, "Do you know what you got on your hands?" She said, "I don't think you know, do you?" She said, "It's something you did with the color blue tonight that is really magical." And I was like, "What?" She says, "Well, I have a book for you. So tomorrow, I want to give you the book because it'll really explain it to you, but it's magical. It's you're coming into your true self." And I'm like, how this lady telling me from my play, I'm coming into my true self with blues. Wow. So I was so excited. I couldn't wait to go get the book. So I went to her house the next day and I got the book. It was a book about chakra, the chakra system. And she had a card that described the color blue. And when I read it, it was me in that play and everything that I had been striving to be heard. You know, you when you are an artist and you do something like that, you do it to be heard. If you want to help the community, but no one listens, you can write a play and they will listen to something, even if they don't remember nothing but she got the Cougar Blues. They remember something, so you are being heard. So that card described that of communication. And then the blue chakra, man, this is really deep to me. It talked about rising to the level of the throat chakra of being heard, speaking, being able to speak with substance so that people can hear. Because you're just speaking anything down in a low vibration, but you're starting to get at a higher vibration where people can connect with you more. So I'm like, wow. Then it starts talking about healing. And it says the blue chakra is associated with diabetes and thyroid conditions. And it's associated with water. And there's a healing in this. You can heal the diabetes and the thyroid conditions by simply speaking truthfully love. And I was like, well, how can that be? You know, it's something to that effect. I haven't read it in a long time, but it has something to do with the truthfully speaking love. Like and it says something to the fact that it's easy to say I love you when somebody is all good and doing things for you, but it's harder to really say I love you and mean it to somebody that ain't did nothing for you. So it talked about that, and I was like, wow. That's something that this is all represented in this color. Well, now I'm in Blue Deals and Heels is my pop-up shop, and my whole theme of my life is bringing the sunshine through the blues. And healing through with my spices, with my plays, with my music, with my poetry, with anything that I do. It's bringing the sunshine through the blues and dealing with life and healing. And so diabetes, thyroid conditions, a lot of that has to do with because we have too much salt or too much different, don't get enough nutrients, magnesium. So things happened back then that I didn't know was going to be the right here in front of me, leading me on the path that I'm in right now with this blue. So blue is just steadily going. It was a feeling, an idea, and that was my name. Everybody knows me as Miss Blue.
I can't believe you got rid of that blue car.
Huh. Well, I got rid of it because the white car, people read the license plates better, blue
That's
unique.
fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can put a sticker on it, and I like and when I had the blue car, I didn't know that my theme was bringing the sunshine through the blues.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was just
Being
blue
blue. It was just
still then.
this is just my color, and that's
Yeah, I didn't know that yellow was associated. That's why now when you see me at the farmers market, everybody says, "Wow, I love your setup with all this yellow and blue." And so today it still was cloudy, and a man walked by. He said, "Well, maybe you sell more lemon shake ups if the sun was out." I said, "Oh, the sun is already out right here." And the lemon shake up sold. Because if you speak and think good thoughts, good things happen. So to have a quote like that, bringing the sun through the blues, and to want to bring the sun through everybody's blues, good things are going to happen. So lemon shake-ups did sell in the cloud through the clouds.
I don't spend enough time at the farmers market. We did a lot. We were doing a lot of farmers market last year, but haven't done so much this year. The what initially brought you to Carbondale? How long have you been in town for? Because you're originally from Southern Illinois, right?
I'm originally from Tams, Illinois,
Okay.
but I worked in Carbondale at JCPenney Hair Salon for 17 years.
Oh wow.
Almost 18 years. I say 17, yeah, but it was going on 18 years. I stopped working at JCPenney Salon in 2017. During that time, in 2017 is when, me and my man Solomon got together, and he was staying up here and I was staying down there. We was seeing each other on weekends, and he had started this hot dog cart business, and I was still coming up here, and I do little things that I could do. And then it just happened that somebody told me they would buy my house, and he was like, it would be good if you moved up here, because it would be good for you anyway, because you could do your play. I would do those plays and drive down there and be tired, living an hour away and trying to get, rehearsals and stuff.
That's for 17 years to
17
make that
years,
drive,
I
Jerri.
did
That
it.
is,
Yeah. I thought I had no choice. I done that for 17 years, and I'm glad I don't have to do it now. But anyway, so I moved up here a couple years ago, and it was exactly what I needed, so that I didn't have to drive far to do the things that I do. I do a lot.
yeah.
So if I can cut out, okay, I can't do this because I got to drive up there, I got to come back and check on my kid, or do this. Well, I can get away with doing more. And as you know, a lot of the things that I'm doing is still I'm still building.
Yeah.
Sometimes I start over, but I don't give up. It keeps going. I know that I'm doing this for a reason. And even when I think I'm going to give up, like right before Solomon came in my life, I was like, oh no, I'm not having any more plays. I was done at the Cougar Blues. I was like, oh no more. That's too much dealing with people, and no. And he watched them all, and he said, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You're fan. He said, do you not know that you're a star? Is nobody telling you that? And then he was even telling people, why y'all don't have her book? Why you didn't buy her stuff? She's a star. And I'm just like, wow, this man thinks I'm a star? Oh, geez. I mean, I didn't get that. It doesn't matter. Sometimes people think, well, why wouldn't you know? No. It was always what's wrong with me. It wasn't you're doing anything right by people who were closer to me. It was mostly like, what's wrong with you? Like, okay, you okay, but if I was you, I would do this, and that. But They would never do that and
Yeah.
never tell me exactly what to do, and they never done it. And some things I would try to adjust and do, but it wouldn't always work. And I wouldn't be following my mind. So to have someone to come and just say, do you,
Yeah.
do that and continue. And I love that because I recently learned something not that long ago about criticism. And I knew that I always would write quotes, but it was to do with my own feelings. Like I would write quotes like, don't be so quick to criticize everybody. Get your own mind out of critical condition and that. And I wrote, but I recently read from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad a quote that he had in a book that talked about people should not be so critical, because when they criticize people and they call it, oh, I'm just helpful, giving you helpful criticism. Most of the time when they doing that, they stunt a person's growth because they are putting their own ideas, their own thoughts onto this person instead of allowing this person to grow into their own ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. They could say, oh no, it was just helpful criticism. No, it was your thought.
Yeah.
You may say, well, if I was you, I would wear black pants instead of blue. But the person had done really thought about, I should wear blue pants. No, you should wear black pants.
Yeah.
That's putting your own thought instead of letting that person wear the blue pants. And then somebody was in the audience and said, God, them blue pants was horrible. Maybe it should have been black. She could grow into it, well, everybody hated the blue pants.
Taking it on through your own experience more than just having your own foundation of thought shaken up because somebody else's suggestions. It's like, it's not until you've done it yourself and you know what changes you need to make. Does that make it your own?
It makes it and you grow. Instead of being like so many people, which a lot of people, or especially artists, are completely stopped in their tracks.
Yeah.
You know how many people I meet that they say, oh, I used to write plays, or oh, I used to sing, or I wrote books, or things that I do.
Yeah.
I know so many people who have done these things, but they're stopped in their tracks because of people who cannot let someone grow. They always have to, oh, well, you can't sing. There's people who are filthy rich from songs that there's somebody sitting there saying they can't sing. So your perspective on if someone can sing to you should just be yours.
Yeah.
People who you can have children and one of them can have a passion for singing, and he may have a song that could be like the stupidest to you and I, but he has a support system, especially the people that's closest to him, that says, because this is what's good about it, that he even has the desire to want to put out something that's in him. That's the biggest thing to me about it. So he has a support system that says, that's great, son, or that's great, cousin, nephew, friend. Keep going. Keep rehearsing. Yes, we're behind you. Those are the ones who making the big bucks from doing something, and it may be, oh God, I don't even like that song. Then you got somebody over here. Boy, they have always, I don't know why they never did make it. They have always been able to sing so well, but they have people that say, you know what, you can really, you can kind of sing. But if you did this with your voice, you may be like so
did
and so or
that, if you
this.
did-
And that person is stuck and they don't get to go to where they could go to. If someone would just support them, the unique talent of them, instead of they have to fit in a bubble.
Jerry, I didn't know how much I needed this conversation today. I'm serious right now. I field criticism from so many different directions. And I mean, and arguably that's part of the position that I put myself in,
Yeah.
like getting into a more public place with my life, anywhere from politics to stage to community development to, you know, what I do with this brand online. And it's just like, it's constant people telling you what you should do and how you should act and how you should this. And it's like, I have my own very like deeply held like belief in this place and the work that I do and like my vision for it. And like, I've never really sat down with somebody and had them just be like, to say, and you're not saying this directly to me, right? You're talking about this broadly, but like anybody that you are having this conversation with, you are telling that to them specifically, right? And like I'm feeling that right now, and it's like a weight just kind of off my shoulders. Like, man, every time that somebody says something to me, and I just kind of smile and nod and accept their criticism, move on, but like I feel a little chunk taken away from me each time because I want to be like, well, why can't you see my vision? Why can't you see what I'm trying to put out there? And it's like now, I don't know. I mean, just moving forward, maybe I just don't. Maybe I just say it like, hey, it's okay. It's not your vision. You don't see it. That's fine. I'm just going to keep doing it until you do see it.
That's exactly the mindset. That's exactly what you have to do. If I had not got to that point, I wouldn't be doing anything that I am today.
Yeah.
Anything. I wouldn't be doing it. But I had to get to that point. You know, I couldn't do that anymore. I'm like, okay. I mean, I was hanging my head like, okay, I won't do any more music. I won't write any more books.
Yeah.
And literally, when I got over that part of my life of worrying about my helpful critics, I make songs.
Helpful critics. That's
helpful
what a
critics.
way to phrase it. Helpful critics.
Yeah, my helpful critics. I make so many songs. Oh, I'm a songwriter, and songs come in my head every day. I have songs that I have not even went to the studio with that I sing. And I'm like, did I make that yet?
Yeah.
Did I write it yet? Oh, I think I did write that one. Like I'm like, okay, I did. I got 2 or 3 written that I can go to the studio with. I've made sure I've disciplined myself to try to go once a month. And that way I support the young man that he's been in my plays before. I'll go to him once a month and make a song instead of, because I can go and make 5. That's how songs come to me. And I don't, they may not ever get real big. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if one person says, oh, that song did, I get messages from people from my songs, and they say, man, that song did something for me. And they be surprised, like, you wrote that? I'm like, yes, I write all my songs. And now look what God has done for me. I know how to take my songs, put them in the background of my podcast. And it's not going to be copyrighted because I didn't drop it on iTunes.
Yeah.
I just went to the studio, got it to sound like what when I put it on the different platforms. But I'm just going to use it for my show. I'm just going to use it on the podcast or for my workout video.
Yeah.
Me and Solomon did a workout video for our newest baby, which is our non-for-profit, the Soldier Project. And we've been talking about that soldier project for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, I was telling him, I said, a lot of people have non for profits and stuff, I guess, and businesses because they want to start something.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. We developed this non for profit because it was already our life.
Yeah.
Soldier Project was already things that we have been doing, and we're like, oh, this is a project. And I'm like, Soldier, Solomon and Joshi, which is one of my books that'll be coming out. The Soldier Project
Mm-hmm.
is, well, Soldier or Soldier Project. I don't know which name I'm going to name it, depending on what I Google. If I have something in my mind and I Google it and it shows up too much, I'll change a letter in it or something so that you can Google and see it's my book.
Yeah.
But that book will be coming out shortly, and it is a fiction story that turns into nonfiction. So it's going to be pretty neat because it's going to start with a story and then it's going to end with the life of Solomon and Joshi, which is the names that I'm Jerry and his real name is Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
But Solomon is a name he chose a while ago, and Joshi is a name I chose. And it just reminds us of our higher selves, higher consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So, Soja is a project of helping people around us get into a higher self, whether it be higher mental, physical, spiritual, economical, whatever self,
Yeah.
just a higher being.
It is to have gotten to see the growth firsthand, right? It's like to just be adjacent to your story is again it just gives you some kind of energy, right? Like, and we're all kind of this way, right? Like, we can all look at each other and go, oh, they're doing this and they're getting there, and like that gives me more hope about what I'm doing, and it all becomes reciprocal, and all of a sudden you've got dozens of people all doing different things, looking at each other and going, well, if they can do that, then I can do this. And if I can do this, then this person can do that. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, you've got this whole, little world of people that are just doing what they think's going to make the world a little bit better.
and that's what it's all about. Because like you were saying, community development, you start with self, you deal with family, and family can be like you. Family is like, people that's still family. And then community, branching out, everyone branching out, and then to the world.
Yeah.
So you make the world a better place if
And
communities be better.
And something like what you do, right? You begin to amplify the energy that you're putting off, right? When you start to scale up, right? It's like, okay, well, I've done one poem, I've done one play, I've done one song, and whatever. It's like, okay, I put off a little bit here, but after nearly a decade of being in that, and then getting the businesses involved in it, and then finding a partner to work on this with, and then that partner being successful in what they're doing, and now all of a sudden people just know you guys and they see you, and now all of a sudden, they don't even have to be super close to be able to stop by the stand or to be able to see a play and to feel so much more connected to it than just driving by and going, oh, that's nice, right? Like people have really embraced everything. I not that I want to get off too much on the Sydney and Solomon's food business, but I mean that's another one of those things that people have just gravitated towards, and they just Love it. And it's not like it doesn't feel like any old hot dog cart.
It's not. It's literally our life, and what makes it really special is Solomon's vision, because this was his vision. You know, he partnered with Sidney Logwood, Reverend Logwood, that helped him get this started, and you know now I'm a partner of it. But you know, we keep the Sidney Solomon because it's, you know, it just goes.
Yeah,
you know,
S&S Foods.
Yeah,
Gotta flow
you
to
want to
it.
keep that because Reverend Logwood, he's just wonderful, and as a tribute, you know, you
Yeah.
keep that name. But it the vision of Solomon's and this hot dog cart is so it's just so beautiful. He wants for others what he has for himself. And so he has a peace and a freedom in his mind when it comes to working, you know, and doing things. He understands how to build something that he can work hard on himself, you know, to make it in this world, not having to depend on if someone is going to hire him or if he's going to get treated bad on a job because of the color of his skin. We don't, you know, that's not pulling the race card. That's just how it is.
It's very
or
real.
because he did things, you know, that, you know, wasn't right, you know, before and got in some trouble. So, but he's a good person.
Yeah.
But that could stop him from getting employment or something to being able to improve his life, improve his family's life. So, this hot dog cart vision is him having something to put out in the community that helps build jobs and not only help give jobs like somebody there working at the hot dog cart for him, but as they are working there for him, he is teaching them and showing them and mentoring them how to be self-sustainable, how to say, okay, I can, yeah, okay, I'm gonna buy my cart and I'm gonna do it at over here, and I'm gonna do this with mine. And so you are taking someone off the, you know, that it may be a young man that would be on the streets, you know, confused, like, I don't know, I need money quick or this, but he sees you pacing yourself at a pace that, oh, it'll build. This is what this can build to. You know, when you work hard, when you get up early in the morning. You know, he has a young man that works with him, and he gets this, I mean, they're up at running 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They do a workout. And that's so important to be able to run the hot dog cart. And some people may, oh, well, it's just, no. This young man working out and Solomon, that workout ethic, that discipline helps you have a better attitude, not get tired if you have a rush, you know. So his vision is just beautiful, and I love being a part of it. He'll tell people when he talks to them, they say, oh, he tells us, he just brags on you of helping him with that, you know. And I just look like, boy, I guess we do the same for each other, because everything that I do with my setting up at the farmer's market, believe me, he gets up in the morning and he helps me be able to put, you know, the blue deals and heels. We are connected. We are a team. And it is just really beautiful to be a part of, you know, that vision of his coming to life.
And it just, you know, it puts into perspective for so many folks, like, hey, it's going to take some time, but guess what? It's not going to take that much time.
No.
Right? I mean, this is
This is the
three and a
fourth
half-
year.
fourth year
Yeah.
into the business like
Into
that.
it, yeah.
You know, for some folks, they may look and go, man, That's so much. But at the same time, it's like 4 years to get to where it is now. That's nothing.
Wonderful.
Like just do it. And then on the other side of it, when it's all there, you're going to get to see what the fruits of your labor are. And the fruits of your labor aren't just money in hand.
Yeah.
It's the people that are along for the ride.
Yes.
And the people, I mean, I've always struggled with that food, exercise, just general wellness, right? Is where I really come up short in life. And Solomon's just, his structure on like, this is it. Does he push you in along with those things as well? Do you get?
He don't have to.
He just comes.
I know. That's a part of us equally yoked. He don't have to. I know that I am his pharmacy.
Yeah.
Our pharmacy is not. I'm in the kitchen. I'm like his doctor.
Yeah.
And his pharmacy. I make sure as what I fix for him, I fix for me. And we are healthier physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
We just are. Our diets, our workout ethic help us deal with things when we're upset or troubled.
Yeah.
You build strength along the way, and it's tested when you go through things. And so we are going through things easier now, now than we have, in the past, as we have steadily gotten better and stronger on this journey. And anybody can do it, which is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Nothing that he does is that hard, or I do. Yeah, he may run a little much. He can carry himself there, but the diet part is simple. It's a mind thing, and it's simply getting to the point of not even wanting to have a whole bunch of different things all the time.
Yeah.
So if you just say, okay, on the weekend, my daughter that's about to be 15, I took her to Popeye's Chicken today. On the week, she texts me, it's Friday. On Fridays and Saturdays, Mom, I get to choose what I want. Like that. So, but she likes the food I fix. But during the week, she like our this week we had bean loaf. And she was sitting there eating it saying, gosh, this is so good. It really tastes better than meatloaf. And it's not this, so she likes it and it's become a part of her life.
Yeah.
So Sullivan eating this bean loaf is not even just because it's loaded with the amount of nutrient where I can look at him eating something and know that he's getting the level that he needs for that day, not for once a week, every single day. So he doesn't have to push me because we both on that same page. He didn't ever push me even at the beginning.
Yeah.
He showed me.
Yeah.
So his lifestyle was in front of me. And he never once said, well, you need to be a vegetarian, or you need to eat navy beans, or you need to get up and go work out. He never once talked to me like that when we got together. He showed me, well, I'm about to go work out, and this is how I eat.
Yeah.
When we, met, and I seen how beautiful he was. And I'm not talking about beautiful appearance. I'm talking about beautiful spirit through so many different things. And I was like, boy, how is he like that? And here I am fussing about stuff, everything. I'm going around mad about this, mad about my job, mad about my kids, mad about this. And he was so calm and pleasant in so many different situations. And I wanted to be like that. I wanted some of that peace And so I knew, well, I gotta probably do what he doing. I'm gonna get rid of, I'm gonna change my diet. And I started feeling better, and I wanted more and get more understanding. And so he let me grow to understanding on my own. He did not criticize me, push anything. We just grew together.
And that strength you develop along the way,
Yes.
right, is the things in front of you don't get easier.
No.
It's like your ability to carry the things in front of you gets more manageable because of the strength you build along the way. Another
Correct.
thing that I'm just so many I just needed
That was
this,
a great
Jerri.
way.
I just needed this. I'm sorry that I'm taking so much of this from you
was
for today,
wonderful.
but I do these podcasts sometimes, and I have people that'll just be like, I didn't know what I needed out of this until I came in here and I talked with you today. And for on 61 of these that I'm into now, and I've taken tons of cool stuff away from it, but like this is the episode where I feel like I'm coming into this and it's like I needed this in return. Now that gets me to kind of my next bit of conversation here, which is what you've done with the house and how you've taken the stage life during COVID times and brought it inside. And I mean, you've turned part of your house into a studio, right? And it's like that is using all of the skills and all of the strength that you've developed thus far to like go to the next step with what you're doing. What has that been like to just like become your own television studio at home?
Well, it's wonderful, but the biggest reason I done this was not for me.
Uh-huh.
I when I'm going places and people, when is you're gonna have another play when he plays, but the theaters are shut down. They can't have a play, and I write a lot, and unfortunately I can't afford a theater every time you turn around to put on if I could be in the Varsity Theater or somewhere every week, I could put on a production every week. I can't just do that. You got to sell tickets and all that. Well, I look at people who need an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many talented people around us that people don't have a clue they're there. So when I put that together in my house, one of the young ladies that was she was in the play A Good Man,
Mm-hmm.
and she's now in the show. She has so much talent, like to the point that we could be shooting a show and she'll be like, I should say this or do this, and it just makes the show. I'm like, gosh, you're smart, but she needs an outlet of somewhere. And so when I put that together in my house, I sent her pictures like, look, I got something here in the house. Come and we can shoot a show. We didn't even know we would have anyone else because the other girl that was in the show with me, we were friends, and then we're no longer friends. Like, she's not my friend anymore, and so I can't just say, oh, you want to come do the show, which it doesn't matter, it's not. So I called Kendall Blakemore, Clatrice Oliver, Tracy, and I told her, well, come on over, we'll just kind of freestyle it and do a show. So she came, and we just put this show. It became a show, and we put it out there, and it was like, okay, well, I was like, okay, I'll write some more now.
Uh-huh.
So how did I already had to set stuff at home. I just wanted to know if this could really work, and boy, it just worked. And I did it so she could have an outlet. She's a wonderful comedian, really smart, and she needed something to me to show the world, look, I'm here, I'm an actress, I'm a comedian, I'm here. So I was like, I got to come up with something, a way to keep her on the stage, So that's what it was really for. And then it's growing where we ended up getting somebody to play the other character, and she's phenomenal. I think I want to say the stage company or somebody has asked her to be in. She was. I didn't even know she did all the acting. Her name is Jasmine Wiley, but she played in when they have the movie they shot out at Giant City. She was in that, and she is something too. So just wonderful. So they never give me any trouble. They so nice to me. And sometimes we have to bend and do this and shoot this day or can't do it this day, but we get it done.
Yeah.
And so it's wonderful. And we can do it at any time because we ain't at the theater.
What's interesting on that, right? Talking about being flexible, talking about being willing to work with folks, because that's what a lot of people may not understand who have not spent time on stage, in a band, as a performer, shooting or filming or whatever, is the amount of flexibility that you have to have, right? The fluidity that you've got to be willing to work with, because not everything's going to happen like you want or think it's going to happen. You just got to work with it. And this is so interesting to me because this ties into, I was just listening to NPR earlier today, and one of the actors from A Handmaid's Tale, one of the main characters was on there, and she was talking about the reason why she gets by so well as an actor is because she always goes into projects and with having the mindset and make sure that she's with people that have the mindset of no judgment here. It's like, this is art. We're creating something. We don't necessarily know exactly what that end product's going to look like, but we're going to have to find it together. And it's like, you can't get mad at somebody one way or the other, or get upset or get frustrated because something, one component of this much larger piece of art may not go off exactly like you want to. And people don't quite understand exactly how much goes into making something like these podcasts. I've set up to be able to be like one shot and done, because I want to be able to get a frequency of media out there. But for something like just a 3 to 5 minute video, people don't understand, like, if you're going to sit there and edit it and try and capture sound from one device and video from another and try and bring it all together, how much work that really takes.
It's a lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And I like what you said about there's no wrong. Yeah. It's the most beautiful art is, our plays. None of those have been like everything that I've written.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, I think that scene was supposed to be here. This is supposed to be there. But, oh, well, it ends up being great how it turns out,
When people don't even, it's so funny. I am not a musician. I'm not able to sing or play an instrument, or I can play Dance Dance Revolution. That's about as far as I get with my feet. It's but when people are on stage and they're performing and they'll come off stage and be like, oh, I messed this up and I messed that up, and like highlight 3 different or 8 different places where they feel like they went wrong in the show, and it's like, but look at the crowd. The crowd noticed. The crowd noticed the body of work. They're not looking at the note that you missed or the song where you were off on a lyric or whatever else. They're, now if you went up there and you just, banged on a cymbal for an hour, the audience is going to make note of that and respond accordingly, right? But if you go up there with your best intentions and you just produce art like you think you want to or can produce art, the audience is going to respond to that. My wife, when we were first talking about, like, I watched like the first video or 2 or something, was like, hey, try and do this with a microphone if you can, just trying to throw out there an idea to help you pick up some better sound quality on those videos. And Maria starts watching these videos, and like after you recorded a couple with the microphone and she was like, oh, I can hear this better, I'm gonna watch it. Like, she just got sucked into them.
Okay.
It was just to see it happen. It's just like, and that's it. Like, that is that is a person who is consuming the media and looking at it for the whole of the project and being like drawn to it and then taking something away from it. And it's like, thanks. Thank you for making that, Jerri.
Yes.
Well, that's it. That's the podcast.
All right.
Episode 61 of the WTF Carbondale podcast. Jerri Young, our guest here. And as always, folks, have a good one, whatever that one may be.